What's up, everybody? Kyle Jones Sport Fishing. Thanks for you guys hanging on for a second there. We're a little 15 minutes. We're 15 minutes or so behind schedule. We've had a pretty busy day. We've got four. We're just talking to the camera. We've got 4 little ones that we had a crazy day, baseball camp, stuff like that going on. So I had to get everybody to bed before we could get going. But we're here now, and so yeah, we're just thankful that you guys could be here again today. And we'll hang out here for a little bit and let some people get on. So think of the questions you guys want to ask, and yeah, kind of start them coming in. If you're watching, let us know you're here. And yeah, we are looking forward to this stuff right here. Big flashers, Chinook, spinners, super baits, the good stuff. So think about those questions. We'll get you queued in and figure out who's first up on question-wise and that kind of stuff here in a second. But I'm gonna go ahead and start our podcast right now. Anyway, you guys can check in, get it on our podcast. It's available on Apple, Spotify. The name of our podcast is Fishing with Kyle. So we'll get the intro to that going, and we'll get right into this. We were a little delayed tonight, so anyway, welcome again to another live edition. This is Fishing with Kyle, and tonight we're talking about Summer Chinook, and we can touch on some sockeye stuff too if any of you guys had any questions we didn't answer last night. But we are jacked. See, my table is a mess, but I had to get out all my favorite toys, so ready to rock and roll. Got the flashers out. Yeah, spinners laying all over the place. It's awesome. If you guys can see the mess of crap that's behind me, you'd be amazed. It's out of control. But we're hustling. We're trying to get everything ready. And we're excited to be able to fish some Chinook and then pile on some sockeye. So, yeah, we're going to start out. It opens the 4th, the Upper Columbia, all the way to Bridgeport, with one little area that's going to open on the 16th from Wells Dam up to Brewster, the bridge at Brewster. That's going to open on the 16th. But everything else is opening on the 4th, and things are going good. We're excited. These Summer Kings are every bit as good or way better than our fall Chinook, and we're pretty excited. We'll be fishing them into the early part of August this year, since we won't be out to the coast until the 14th. So, but anyway, Danny's here behind the camera. She's going to be answering or letting you know on questions. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, we can go ahead and go for it and see what we got. Start seeing if we can help you guys out, or you want me to talk about something in particular, or we can get going on anything.
All right, we've got Brett Jones watching.
What's up, Brett?
Dusty Cummings watching.
Hey, Dusty.
We've got Stephen Davis.
What's up, Steven?
Gino. Jeffrey.
Gino, my man Gino.
Jeffrey is watching from Spokane, Washington.
Awesome.
We got some Jim Catton on here.
Mr. Catton. Cool.
Slavic is from...
Slavic, he's back.
Sean Summit.
Sweet. So I'm going to show you guys something. You can see there's a lot of spinners out in front of me, and there's one color tied up. I'm going to give you guys a little...
Nice. Sean Simon says, good stuff, buddy. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah,
Can't
man.
wait to hit the water with you again. Chancey Cunningham. What's up, Kyle?
Not much.
Mike Mudd. Richland listening in.
Just jacked. Excited.
Slavic says, thank you so much for this broadcast. Appreciate the tips. The best from the
Absolutely.
best guy in the Northwest.
I don't know about that, but we did stay at a Holiday Inn Express once.
All right. Adam Chilton.
Adam. I know Adam's got some questions.
He's got one. Let's see.
Yeah.
Here, how long will the Kings be open?
It's going to be open pretty much the whole way through. The announcement today said from Priest Rapids to below Rocky Reach, it'll be open till the end of July, and then above Rocky Reach through the middle of September, even the middle of October for a couple of sections. So we should be open and fishing with that almost doubling of our Chinook forecast. We are in pretty good shape to be running some trips, and we'll be fishing till we're ready to be gone. There'll be fish there to be caught. So we're excited. Middle of August we'll be fishing, so we've got open dates, especially toward the end of July, first week of August. We're fairly open in that time frame, and there's a lot of good fishing to be had. Even first week of August, all the way through August, really. We're excited. We're hinting with the idea of fishing Brewster and the Upper Columbia a lot longer than we have in the past, and maybe even skipping out on our Astoria stuff to fish up there longer, just because it's such a consistent fishery. And I don't know, putting the boat in with shorts and sandals on and going salmon fishing in the sunshine is pretty cool. So, but if anybody's got any specific questions, we can go rigging, we can go baits, we can go spinners, we can go. We
have some questions.
Danny says we have questions.
We have questions.
We'll go ahead and get to the questions.
Isaiah Suarez, is the Hanford Reach current too fast to troll for kings?
Yes. Yeah, so if you're going to fish the Hanford Reach right now, you're going to be anchoring close to the bank, and you're going to basically be anchored up trying to hit travel lanes. And when I mean close to the bank, close to the bank. You want to find pinch points. Those same lanes where guys are catching sockeye at, those are the same type of spots those summer Chinook are going to be pushed to. They're right in there with them. And think shallow, pinch points. If you've got deep water below and you've got an eddy, you want to set up above that to where those fish have to come up and over, around a corner, and you want your gear being right there. And then one thing, I used to fish the Reach, the upper part of the Reach a lot. I used to fish out of Vernita, and that can get pretty tough because the water fluctuations are so wild out of Priest Rapids Dam that you could be set up one minute on a perfect slot, and the next minute you're sitting over 15 feet of water when you were over 6. So it's a little tough. I know the guys down toward Richland and stuff, they I think they do a little bit more consistent. So yeah, that's my only advice for the Reach. Beyond that, most of what I do anymore is up above.
Okay. Chancey Cunningham, bumper length between weight and flasher.
Sweet, man. I'm glad you said that because I got one sitting right here. So, I don't know how long that is. Probably 24. Let's see. Let's look on my flasher. That's 200-pound mono. I run something really heavy. Doesn't have to be 200-pound mono, 50-pound or more. But I like these because they get super tangled. I've actually probably had this one for 2 or 3 years and not broke it. But I don't know. Let's look at it on the flashers. An 11-inch Pro Troll. So it's probably 24 inches. 24 to 30. Somewhere in there is usually what I run. But yeah.
Okay, we got Shane Phillips on here watching.
Shane.
Slavic. He says, do you use 8-inch Pro Troll flashers for sockeye? Do you use them for anything else?
The 8-inch Pro Trolls. So they are a handy little tool. I've caught a lot of sockeye with the 8-inch Pro Trolls. I don't use them as much as I used to. I used to fish them quite often, but I don't fish the smaller ones that much. I know a lot of guys will use the smaller ones for both Chinook and sockeye, but like I said, if I'm going to fish for sockeye and target sockeye, I'm going to probably run a Dodger and be able to fish a little bit slower, like these Rocky Mountain Tackle Dodgers or the 11-inch or the 8-inch Max Double D Dodgers. I'm going to run Pro Trolls pretty much most of the time when I'm fishing Chinook. And actually, for these first couple of weeks, while this water's cold, below some of these dams where we like to fish, I'm not going to run any sockeye gear at all. I'm going to run spinners, and I'm going to tip my spinners with a piece of shrimp, and I'm going to fish for kings, and I'm going to probably get my sockeye too. But I don't, when this water's cold, that you do not need to be fishing just sockeye gear to get sockeye. You'd be amazed how much one of these spinners with a piece of shrimp or without it early in the year trolling for kings, that you'll end up with a bunch of sockeye. There's years that when we weren't able to keep sockeye, we couldn't keep the sockeye off. So get out there, and for while you can, while this water is nice and cold, man, catch them both.
Did you talk about short bus flashers at all?
I don't use short bus flashers that much. I have them. I've got some. I feel like I do better on the Pro Trolls, and that's just personal preference. I know there's a lot of guys that do really, really well on the short bus, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the speed that I fish fast. I like to fly around. I don't go slow. I mean, I'm cooking. I want my rods thumping, and I just seem to get bit better with Pro Trolls. I mean, I've caught fish with the short bus flashers, but the Pro Trolls seem to do a lot more damage for me, and I know there's some other guys that think that way too.
Okay, Tim Crone says, "Are you fishing at 10 this year?"
Yeah, I'm gonna at 10. Yeah, I'm gonna fish at buoy 10 this year. I'm gonna be out there starting the 14th of August, and out there I'm gonna be running Pro Trolls and spinners and anchovies. I run the same program. I'll go from Brewster to buoy 10, and I won't change my program other than I'll mix in fresh anchovies behind my flashers.
All right, Corey. Have you tried wobbling spoons to catch fall Chinook salmon?
No, I've never fished those wobblers on the fall Chinook thing. I've always fished them upriver. When I fish fall Chinook, I'm fishing either in Astoria or jumping up, fishing Hanford Reach and further up. That anchor fishery around Woodland and the mouth of the Lewis, where those guys are fishing wobblers, I've never really gotten involved in that. I don't see why that wouldn't work at a bunch of other places, but I've just never tinkered with it.
Megan Funk is watching, or was watching. How you doing, Megan? Shane Phillips. Hey, Kyle. Will below Wells Dam be fishable the 4th?
That's a good question. I haven't looked at flows because I'm not planning on being there until about the 8th, but I know when there's this much water around, that place can be crazy. So be careful. It's hard to tell what they're going to do there. I don't know, maybe somebody that's driven by up there in the last couple of days. I'm sure there's some local guys up there that could probably tell us that they're spilling water. But yeah, there's other options close by though. So I'll just say that.
Dan Glenn?
Yeah.
What leader length do you run for spinners?
I don't know. Anywhere from 36 to 40 something. I know other guys get kind of complicated. I tie mine all pretty long. Here, I'll show you. I mean, I start them out long. And I don't know. I've never actually really put a tape measure to what I end up cutting them down to. But of course, one's got to be tangled. I don't know. Let's see what it is. I don't know. They start out at about like that, almost a wingspan, but I'll probably fish them, I don't know, somewhere like that probably. I don't know, 30, what's that? Yeah, 30, 36 inches, something like that. 36 to 42, somewhere in there.
Right on. Adam Chilton, Mexican hat spinners and chrome 11-inch Dodger.
They don't work, Adam.
All right, Barry Howard is watching.
Mr. Howard, Barry.
James Catton, are you using your breakaway Pro Trolls?
No, I still have some rigged up breakaway. I got tired of dealing with them, so I don't know. For you, buddy, I'll break out the breakaways.
Josh Nations, excuse me. With cold and stained water, what is a standard leader length?
Well,
30 to 36 inches?
yeah, if the water's cold and stained, I don't know. It's not usually cold and stained on that upper part of the Columbia because you have Grand Coulee Dam up there soaking up every bit of everything coming into it. We've usually got a lot of visibility. So, with cold water, I've actually found that when we're fishing in the spring, springers seem to like your gear a little bit further behind the flasher. So, but water temperatures are still they're still going to be around 60. So it's not going to be that cold. So prime time aggressiveness. I don't worry too much about leader length. I don't mind having them back there a little bit longer in the summer than maybe I would in the fall. But yeah, minimum 36 inches. I don't really like being any closer than that. Sometimes 5 feet.
All right.
Play with it.
Jamie Flannery. Kyle Jones. Flan Dog says hi.
Flan Dog.
I will be booking a trip, my friend.
That's awesome, buddy. I'm so stoked to hear you're doing well, brother. Makes me happy.
Ike Yanez. How long of leader with anchovies?
No, like that. Wingspan.
The wingspan. Kyle's wingspan. What's Kyle's wingspan? 5'9"? 5'10"?
Starts out at about 6 feet. By the time I tie 3 egg loops on a 3-hook leader, it's probably, 5.5 feet. 5 feet. I don't know. Something like that. I don't get too complicated. I just go like that, and then I tie my hooks on and go fishing.
All right. Adam Chilton. Fishing locations different for sockeye and kings?
No. Yes and no. There's a few places that are, but there's a bunch that are exactly the same.
Dave Hedden says it's dumping from wells all the way down.
Perfect.
At least on Monday it was.
Thanks, Dave. Dave's the man. Yeah. So there you go, Shane. You're probably going to have a lot of water at wells. So fish lower if you're going to try to fish on the 4th. And you're going to deal with a lot of current everywhere you go. So, yeah. This year could be a little different. There could be some other things in play. Some anchor fishing maybe in certain spots that maybe guys haven't been doing it, but it's fun. That's what makes it fun. Every year's different. I know if I can't troll upriver at a decent clip, there's nothing wrong with just trolling one direction. Running up and trolling down. So...
All right, Slavic has another question. What would you use now? Brad's super bait / kokanee plugs / spinners?
All of them until the fish tell me which one they want. Yeah, I fish a lot of the minis, the big ones. Lots of the kokanee ones. And then lots of spinners. So, really, fish what you like to fish with. Don't get too hung up on it and let them pick. But if I was going to fish tomorrow, I would have one of those on. I'd have one of these on. I'd have one of these on. And I'd probably have a couple kokanees on. So that's the benefit of running a bunch of rods, is I can run a whole bunch of gear and then let the fish tell me what they want. But any of that stuff, especially with the way water temperatures are now, there should be a bunch of fish to be caught.
All right, Chris Smith. Are fall or summer Chinook more aggressive?
I think summer Chinook are way more aggressive. Summer Chinook upriver are way more aggressive. A fall Chinook in Astoria might be one of the most aggressive things you'll ever see on the face of the planet. But comparison between a Hanford Reach fall Chinook and a summer Chinook upriver, the summer Chinook they're hot to trot, man. They'll chase things down from a long ways away. They'll move a long ways to come get your bait.
All right, Gino Thomas. Robin and I want to fish Bridgeport. Will we catch more than our friends snagging fish? What?
Oh, man. I don't know. How many do they get a day, Gino? That's a good question, man. I don't know if you want to put me up against those guys. Those guys are pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, Mike Burrows, braid or mono at buoy 10?
Braid, for sure. And the reason for that is there's a lot of trash in the water, and braid, if you get a little bit of debris on your line, you don't have as many just random break-offs from your line getting super twisted up as you do with braid. Braid, heavy braid, 65, 80 pound is what I run. 80 and 65 pound heavy braid seems to hold up and do a really good job. But mono guys, a lot of guys fish mono, but fishing every day, I don't fish mono. I like knowing I don't have to change my lines out all the time, and it's just the durability factor, being able to rip grass off, all that kind of stuff. So.
Jimmy Woo, how do you rig your anchovies?
Oh man, I knew I shouldn't have talked about anchovies. When I'm rigging anchovies, I fish a 3-hook rig, but this is just I don't really fish anchovies anywhere else that I can't buy fresh anchovies. So I'm only fishing anchovies when I'm out on the coast. But I run a 3-hook herring rig, and the first hook goes through the middle of the bait, and the top hook pins down through their mouth. You get them bent in like a C shape, slight C bend, and it's a killer rig. Pin their mouth shut. But yeah.
Cool. Josh Nation says thank you. Isaac says thank you. Or Ike.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely.
Michelle's watching. Hey, Michelle. I don't know if you're still watching. Ron Boyer, troll speed for sockeye and troll speed for kings. Same or different?
It really depends which one you're targeting. So, like I said, we catch a lot of sockeye when we're trolling for kings, and obviously I'm trolling fast. And when I'm trolling for Chinook, I'm at least going 2 miles an hour. I mean, sometimes slower, but most of the time I'm cooking right along. But then again, it all has to do with, if I'm going upstream, it all has to do with the rod, with the thump on this flasher, right? That flasher, I'm watching my rod tips, and I'm looking for a thump, big thump. I want the whole rod to pretty much move when it thumps. Won't. That's about the cadence I want to go. Just kind of like that. If I'm only barely moving, I'm not going fast enough. I want that thing moving. And you know what? Pay attention to what the fish are wanting too. If you're going and making turns and your inside rod's getting buried, maybe they want it going slower. But if you've gotten bit on turns 2 times in a row, you probably just need to go faster. So sometimes if I'm going downstream, I'm going 3.5 miles an hour. I'm cooking. So it's pretty cool when a fish climbs on it at almost 4 miles an hour and goes the opposite direction. But Mr. Catton's seen that bite before. But yeah, and sockeye, if you're only targeting sockeye, you're gonna want to be going slower. But man, I catch a lot of sockeye on Chinook gear, especially the first couple weeks. Later in July, when the water gets warmer and they're all sitting in the Brewster pool, then we'll definitely start going a lot slower and just targeting sockeye. But early in the year, man, we catch a lot of sockeye while we're fishing Chinook and hauling bud around.
Slavic, favorite colors for super baits and spinners?
I think my absolute number one favorite color on a super bait is rotten banana. I don't think anything else even comes close. But rotten banana, that dusky color is killer. They all work really well. Seahawk, you can't beat. I could sit here and tell you that I think there's like one hot color, and then I'll go through my box and I'll find 10 colors that I don't feel like I can live without. So, if I had to have 2, if I only had 2 super baits, especially for the summer Chinook, it would be a Seahawk or a rotten banana. And if I could have 3, there'd be a Mountain Dew in there. And then number 1 spinner blade, that one. That's the Bronco from VIP. They all make it. VIP makes it. That one's chewed on a bunch. That's a VIP blade, so that one's gonna be out. But Simon makes that color. I don't know. They all got some of them have different names for it, but the Bronco colored spinner is probably my absolute number 1 But the chartreuse green dot, Mexican flag, pink and whatever. I mean, it's just every day. Rainbow colored spinners work great. I mean, the spinner blade thing can get pretty dangerous. I don't know where they are, but I've got a hole. I mean, every one of those slots, that's a different color. So, and they all catch fish a lot of the time. So, but yeah, I would just stick with get a couple of spinner colors that you have confidence in and go with it. Especially like you, Slavic, with only a couple of rods out. You know, I wouldn't get too wrapped up in trying to have a whole bunch of different stuff. Keep it simple.
Manuel, he says, what size of lead weight and depth you fish Wampum Dam pool?
Wampum Dam. I haven't fished at Wampum Dam for a couple of years, but in that place, the way the current rips around, I'd probably be running 12s. 12s and maybe even 16s. If there's a bunch of people, I mean, I don't have any problem running 12s and 16s. And I'm not going to fish them all that deep. Maybe 20 on the counter. So we're only talking 15 feet down. Maybe even shallower. I mean, if you're marking fish deeper, go ahead. But I mean, a lot of the time when I'm fishing summer Chinook, especially unless it's Brewster Pool. Brewster Pool, sometimes we're running 75 feet with a 12. You know, I mean, we're trying to get down in that trench. But those other fisheries, a lot of times guys are just fishing them too deep. Those fish will come up a long ways. Those marks you see on your fish finder at 15 feet, those are Chinook. So those big heavy marks that you go, what the heck are those? They're Chinook, and those are usually travelers and they're biters. So, and those fish, if you watch your graph, you'll see fish come streaking in from a long ways to eat your gear. Fish above them, they can't see down, they can see up. And in that clear water, they'll come up a long ways to get stuff. But yeah, that's one of my big suggestions for fishing around the dams and a couple other places. I mean, a lot of times guys are fishing too deep. Start shallow. I mean, if you know that there's guys next to you and you can tell, I mean, you can kind of watch boats. You can figure out if they're fishing deeper than you are or not. If they're hooking more fish than you are, maybe you put out a few more feet. But, you know, don't go down past the fish to try to catch them first. A lot of times they're pretty darn shallow.
Perfect.
Sometimes we can see our flashers. That's one thing I had to get really used to. I can look over the boat when the sun's high and I can see my flashers turning. And that used to bother me. I didn't think you could catch fish like that, but it's pretty cool when you're looking at that flasher down there and all of a sudden you see it take off in a random direction.
That's way cool. Chancey Cunningham, how do you feel about the thermal barrier at Brewster this year with all the rain so far?
Well, it really doesn't matter how I feel about the thermal barrier. It's either there or it's not, and it's not going to be there for a little while. So we need hot weather. If it doesn't get hot, it's not going to set up. And if it doesn't set up, then there won't be any fish holding in the Brewster pool. So watch temperature graphs. We need a week of 100-degree weather. You know, high 90s, 100. So I don't know that we're going to see that here anytime soon. There's a lot of water coming. So Brewster pool it might be one of those years it doesn't ever fish that great. So think about that. There's other places to fish up there though. Not all those fish that go above wells are going up the Okanagan. So there's traveling fish up higher. So there's some spots typically fish better later in the year, but there should be fish there fairly early. But that Brewster pool, if the Okanagan's not hot, those fish won't be there.
Cal Stocking, thanks again, Kyle. Great info. Corey, let's see here. Fall Chinooks, where I fish them, they are very aggressive when you are throwing spinners from the shoreline on the Oregon coast. Cool.
Yeah.
Sean Joyce, he's watching now.
What's up, Sean?
Oh, we got told we were frozen for a second.
Oh. We have slow internet out here in the middle of nowhere, so bear with us.
James Thompson, where do you launch above Priest Rapids?
A bunch of places. There's a number of fisheries above Priest Rapids. I'm not going to get super specific. I mean, there's a launch below Wanapum. There's a couple of them, and then I mean, I guess if you're looking to fish above Priest, I mean, there's the Huntington access, and then there's right below Wanapum on the I guess what would that be, the Grant County side. But yeah, a couple of them. They're crappy. That launch right below Wanapum Dam is a joke. It's nasty, and it's got a couple big concrete things that ran. Somebody had the bright idea of putting on the side of it. It's bad. And then if they're spilling water, it can be really rough coming over from that Huntington access. So if you go into Wanapum, be ready for it to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of water there. There'll be fish there, but there's going to be a lot of water. So make sure you guys know what you're doing and that your boat's running well.
Jim Schult? Tell Kyle, hey Kyle, tell me about Heller Bar in the fall. Would love to fish with you, Catton, and Yaman.
Oh, Schulte. Yeah. Hey, man. Heller Bar in the fall is fantastic. Early October through mid-October, we're catching fall Chinook and steelhead all in the same drift. It's awesome. We had a day up there last year where I don't even know how many fish we hooked. It was on the 13th of October. I had a big group out we had 6 boats total. I have no idea how many. I know my boat, we lost count at probably 30, and it was unbelievable. One of the best Chinook bites I've ever seen. So there's some awesome fish in there. The steelhead fishing's great. The Chinook fishing's awesome. I don't think there's the first 15 days of October. I don't think there's a better place to be than Heller Bar.
All right, Sean Joyce. How do you like the new boat? Big difference for you, for customers?
Oh, that new boat's sweet.
They love the seats.
Yeah, they do. They love the seats. Seats bug me because they're big and wide and I kick them, but people love the seats. They love the windshield. It's pretty comfortable to lounge in there all day long.
Yes, it's a nice boat.
Danny approves, so I got lucky.
Dustin Gaylor, best trolling rig right now for American Falls Reservoir.
Ooh.
This is a question for Mr. Brett
Yeah,
Jones.
Brett
Jones, we need to know.
Maybe Brett Jones will answer that one, but let me see if I can do it without getting yelled at. The last time that Brett and I talked trolling on the reservoir, those fish were down 20-ish feet, 15 to 20 feet, and Brett smashed them in a little while out there. Most of them are a little smaller right now. The big fish are going to be a little bit harder to catch, but limits of smaller fish in the 14 to 18 inch range can be had. They're a little bit deeper. I think he was running his downriggers at 20, 25 feet, something like that, and they were popping like crazy. So
we'll see if we get yelled at.
Yeah, I'm sure Brett will probably chime in and answer that one.
Ron Boyer, thank you, Kyle. Shane Phillips, thanks, Kyle. Gotta go. See you on the 11th.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Jennifer Schreiner was watching. Hey, Jen. Adam Chilton, do you use different gear to target if you are targeting only one of the species and 65-pound braid? Okay.
Yeah, 65-pound braid's what I'm running, Adam. Yeah, I'm going to if I've got customers that are only interested in sockeye, then I'm gonna fish sockeye gear. But if we want to go out and catch fish, I'm going to use that first couple hour of daylight window to try to put some big Chinook on the boat. And then, if the Chinook bite dies off, then maybe I'll switch to sockeye. But there's a lot of times we're getting both at the same time. So, but definitely, overall, if you're wanting to catch sockeye and you're not really concerned about Chinook, then fish sockeye gear. You're probably going to get more sockeye. But like me, I really, really default to catching summer Chinook. So, my boat's going to be targeting summer Chinook most of the days. A lot of the guys that have learned to have fished with me the last few years, we've kind of moved away from chasing big time sockeye numbers, and those guys have really fallen in love with the summer Chinook. So that's what those guys are going to want to fish. I'm going to have some boats that want to fish sockeye, and that's fantastic. That's kind of a game time decision. But if I'm gonna default and I'm gonna fish, I'm gonna fish for summer Chinook first, and then take my chances catching sockeye later in the day. That's my game.
Okay. Dan says temp at the mouth today showed 61.
Yeah, we got ways then, Dan. Yeah. We need warm water. If that water's below 70 degrees, those fish aren't going to hold there. So a couple of days of really hot weather will do it.
What just happened? There we go. Kevin Scheffler is watching. How you doing, Kevin?
What's up, Kevin?
Let's see. Chancey says, thanks for the info. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Gino says, what do you think of Rufus? Rufus Woods?
Man, Gino, I've never even fished Rufus Woods. The pictures I see look really, really cool. There's a lot of fish, a lot of big trout up there, but I've never even fished it.
Eric Swanson, can't wait to see you in Astoria.
Yeah, buddy.
James Catton, see you in a week. Tight lines.
Yeah, see you, James.
And that's all we have for
Jim.
questions right
awesome,
now, Kyle.
guys. Well, we're excited. If you can't tell, I'm excited. I mean, summer Chinook is really what I love to do up there. It's what I really like. I mean, watching those fish smack a big setup, hauling around and peeling off 200 feet of drag is pretty awesome. So I'm excited to go fish summer Chinook. And yeah, we're going to be out there on the 8th with Mr. Catton there. So yeah, and we got more questions.
All right, Slavic says, when you come to a new place, what's your battle plan? Where do you start? So like you said, you haven't fished somewhere.
Yeah.
How do you prepare yourself?
So if I've never fished somewhere before and fresh time going somewhere, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out what about that place reminds me of somewhere else that I fished. And I'm going to take what I know from somewhere else and start there and apply it. So I don't know if that helps that much. I'm going to figure out what the guys, you can online, there's so many resources available. You can kind of figure out the general program. And if it's something that's in your wheelhouse, like I know you like to fish at the confluence down in the Snake and the Clearwater. And so that super bait pro troll game, you've already got that pretty dialed. And so that program works for salmon in any troll fishery in the entire Columbia Basin. And so, and even on the coast, some of the coastal stuff, it's starting to come on, and it has for a while too. But so I'm going to take what I know and I'm going to apply it to where I'm at. And then I'm going to branch from there. So hopefully that helps.
Gauge baits, go to super bait for Brewster.
Question mark?
Yeah, question mark.
Yeah. Oh, my go-to super bait?
Oh, go-to.
At Brewster?
There you go.
I don't know. If I had to pick one, if I got one pick off my board, it's going to be a rotten banana. But, I mean, that's a lot of other guys to pick, too. Hot tamale, hot lava. Yeah, there we go again. I'm about to rattle off a whole bunch. If I could have one off the rack and I never got to fish another super bait ever again, it would be a rotten banana.
Okay. Dave Looper is here. Says, Looper here. Good stuff, buddy. Good luck. Jansen Cummings is here.
Jansen.
We love Jansen.
Yeah, man.
David Looper says again, probably see you in Astoria.
Awesome, buddy. Coming back up north.
And then Ron Boyer, shrimp video.
I filmed it, and it's still on my GoPro, so be looking for that. It is filmed, but like I said, Country Bumpkin Internet, man. I'm still trying to upload the video from last night of our live feed to get it on YouTube. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits being out here, but there's
Yeah. The internet connection for uploading things to the tube or the Book of Faces is a little slow. So bear with me. In my world I would have had that video up earlier, but I'm waiting. So appreciate it though. But it is done and coming.
Brett said he sent you some info for AF. I don't see it.
I got my podcast going, so I'm not gonna be able to see it, Brett. Or unless he sent it to the person.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Brett and I could get on here sometime and have a live battle royale.
That would be awesome. That would be entertaining. All right, so we talked about a shrimp video. Paul Goulet. Sorry, came in late here. Great info. What is your hook setup for your super baits?
All right, that's a really good question. Which size super bait? You want to know how I rig a hook on the minis or the big ones? Because I do it a couple different ways. I'll just show you guys both ways. So last couple of years I've run every hook setup known to mankind, and I'm sure somebody else is going to tell me their hook setup's awesome, and I'm sure it is. They all work, but I've gone back to running 2 trebles on my super baits, my big super baits. I run 2 number 2 treble hooks, and this is a rig the setup I had tied up last year. I'm actually now running these a little bit closer together and having them at the back, but that's been a killer setup. I think it puts just as many fish in the boat. I've run 3 singles, I've run 2 singles, I've run 1 big treble, I've run you name it. I've run a Siwash in a treble, I've run a single in a treble, 2 trebles in a single, every hook setup, and at times they all suck. So I've run 1 big Siwash, 2 small trebles. I mean, every hook setup known to man, and I've just come back around to just running 2 trebles. So, and then the hook setup that I'm pretty set on the mini super baits. And again, I've run a bunch of different ones. This is just the one I've settled on. So I run 2 4/0 owner cutting points, and they're spaced out about 2.5 fingers. That's been the setup and I actually run these with a bobber stop, and I set the back hook right at the back of but you can run, some guys start to run 2 trebles, 1 treble. I've got buddies that run 1 single number 2 treble on the back of those, do really well. There's a bunch of hook setups, but that's the one that's worked out for us the best on those. So great question. Maybe that can help somebody else not pound their head against the wall. That being said, though, one time I went I don't know, I probably had 18 or 19 takedowns on 3 different hook setups at Brewster and got 2 of them. So if the fish aren't in the mood to eat your baits very well and they're just coming up and nipping at them, it doesn't matter what hook setup you have, you're going to lose some.
It's inevitable sometimes.
Absolutely.
All right, Aaron. Thanks for the great info. Love to set up a trip with you.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
Call the boss lady. Our office phone on our website, 208-669-1569. There we go. Danny will get you hooked up. She will actually return your phone calls. If you have my number and you call me and you've talked to me before in the past, you know at times that I am very difficult to get a hold of. So that's why Danny said no more and took over answering the phones. So she's awesome. She's a lot nicer to talk to on the phone than I am too.
Adam Chilton, good place to get shrimp in Wenatchee.
Hooked on Toys. They'll have whatever you need, or Sportsman's. And if you're gonna buy it, I buy Columbia Basin Bait. But like I said, I do my own. But if I'm gonna buy it, I buy Columbia Basin. There's other good ones.
I think Dave Hedden just mentioned that down here. Hooked on Toys for shrimp in Wenatchee.
Bam. I'm sure Dave stocked them up too.
All right, where was I? Okay, Ron Boyer, we'll be watching for it. Thanks for your time, Kyle.
Oh, thank you guys.
Brett
awesome.
says I'm in. So Brett's in for the Jones Showdown.
Oh man.
Ron Boyer says Brett's gonna yell.
Brett does yell.
Oh, even when he's being nice, he's yelling. All right, Dave, head in. Oh, I already said that one. Hooked on toys for shrimp and Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it, Bob. Says the picture's bad. I'm sorry. Our internet sometimes.
Sorry, Bob.
Ron Boyer. Poor guy has dial-up, it sounds like.
It's not dial-up, but it's not much
better. I think he was talking about maybe somebody else.
Oh.
Because Ron says his picture's great. And then Slavic says pure tuna or scented. And what is your favorite scent, Kyle Jones? He didn't say it like that, but I just added some pizzazz to it.
Thanks, honey. Both. I always have just regular tuna, and then I'll almost always have a batch that's scented up. So, yeah. Yeah, don't mix all of your tuna in one batch and put scent in it and then have that one not work. Do smaller little batches. I'll have one that has nothing going. I call that the control. That one's on rods, and then I start messing with the other ones. And the scents that I use the super dipping sauce. Garlic, or the garlic scent is killer. Just don't overdo it with it. The salmon scent is great. The krill, anise, the shrimp, all of Jared's stuff is it's really good. And I've fished it for a long time, and yeah, I'm happy, very happy with it, and I'll keep fishing it because it puts fish in my boat. So, but there are days when they don't want any of that, and they would rather have just the plain tuna. So, there's lots and lots and lots of good scents out there. Try them all. I'm sure they would love to take everybody's money.
Jeff Laybourne.
Superfly.
Oh, it's Jeff. Nice. Now I get his joke. I get it. Can you start over? I just logged on.
Yeah, of course you did. Jeff actually sells some of the coolest flashers ever. They're not these, but they're the Spin Doctors, and they are good. So I don't fish the super bait or short bus ones, but the other flasher that I do fish is the Spin Doctor, and Jeff sells them. So.
Slavic, thank you guys. You two are the best team. Thanks.
Hey, thank you. Sometimes we're not so sure, but it's all good.
Jeff again. We were talking about Door Shack kokanee.
Yeah. How about those kokanee?
All right. Corey, he says, do you put tuna in your super baits?
Yes.
To catch fall Chinook.
Yes. Always.
And that's it for right now.
Yeah. Fall Chinook, yeah, in the river, absolutely tuna. When I'm on the coast, tuna and anchovies. I cut up fresh anchovies and put them in my super baits out there.
Hey, did you talk about the Chinook opening? Isn't that what happened just today?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Did you already mention it?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Chinook opens on the 4th of July for the Upper Columbia.
Yeah, it's a big deal because we thought it was going to open up on the...
We didn't think we were going to get it till the 16th. So, and we weren't even sure about that.
And how many Chinook?
2. 2 adult Chinook, 2 adult hatchery Chinook limit, plus 2 sockeye right now. The Upper Columbia is the best chance to be able to actually load up on more than one fish.
Yeah.
Terminal fisheries, guys. Terminal fisheries. When we're allowed to fish where the fish are going, we can harvest more fish, and we can fish longer. If only we could get our Idaho Springers here to have terminal fisheries on. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Adam. Best color 11-inch Dodger. Chrome. Is that what you're saying?
Chrome.
Okay.
And then chrome. And then chrome. And then chrome. And then every once in a while, you do that to it. But chrome. Just buy the chrome ones, Adam.
Hey, do you think they'll raise the sockeye limits? Says Jeff.
Keep your fingers crossed, man. There seems like there's a lot of fish. We've had higher limits on less fish, so I'd sure like to see them. But I'm happy to have Chinook.
Ron Boyer really wants us to post our shrimp video. He says, okay, get off here and lower your data so the shrimp video.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try a different way to get it out faster. Maybe I'll just record it on my iPhone off of the playback on my GoPro. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
We'll figure it out.
Brett Jones. What do you have to say, Brett Jones? Can you use super bait for trout?
Brett Jones asked me that?
That's what Brett Jones said.
I don't see why not. Ask Brett Jones what happened when I told him to fish him for lake trout.
Okay, Brett Jones. We need an answer. Paul Goulet. Barbed or barbless hooks?
So I just read that yesterday to try and figure that out. So above $3.95 in Pasco, the way I read it is there's no barbless restriction. So on our stuff from that's not managed as the Lower Columbia, which is $3.95 bridge in Pasco down, is managed differently in combination with Oregon in a compact between Oregon and Washington. And our stuff that's managed by just Washington, so the Hanford Reach up, the way I read it is that there's zero mention that barbless hooks are required for anything other than sturgeon fishing. So read it for yourself. Don't take it from me. But, read through that mess. That's what I got out of it. So.
Matt Letuala. What? Oh, my friends. I miss you. Let's see. Jesse says, is a Wanapum pool 2 sockeye and 2 Chinook?
Yes.
Slavic, do you use lighted flashers?
Yeah, I used to have a light stuck on this one and it fell off. But, no. I mean, I would, but they're $5 extra. So for $5 extra times 6 around the boat, 30 extra bucks just to have one with a light on it. I've caught a lot of fish in the dark on regular chrome flashers. So, but yeah, I'm sure at some point. But yeah, when they're $22.
Adam says you and the boss lady are awesome.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for all you do for us.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for all you do for us. My goodness. Dream of just fishing for a living and stuff, and then actually having it come true because of your guys' support. It's incredible. We thank you guys. You're the backbone of our business. We don't have a business without customers.
Chad Lowe, average length and weight of the sockeyes.
I don't know. They're like 19. I don't know about this year. I haven't caught it. Some of those guys that are fishing Tri-Cities chime in. But I don't know. Usually they're anywhere from like 19 to 24. 24 inches would be a big one. So, I don't know. 2.5 to 3.5 pounds. 4 pounds, something like that. Maybe a bigger one every once in a while. So, pictures I've been seeing make them look about the same. So, I don't know. I haven't fished it. It varies by year. Some years they're a little bigger. Some years they're a little smaller. But
they are delicious, though.
Yeah, for what they lack in size, they make up for on the table. They're unbelievable. They're comparable to a Springer. So, I get marching orders to go get sockeye. So.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really
I have to get carne asada from Bridgeport and sockeye. Has to come home in my cooler when I come home.
Mm-hmm. Carne asada.
Yeah, and if you guys have never had some of the best carne asada in your life, stop at the Mexican grocery store in Bridgeport. and walk all the way back and get their carne asada mix. It's unbelievable. You'll thank me for it. It's fantastic. Just don't get it all before I get there.
Exactly. Oh man. Chasing Chrome, ethanol or non-ethanol, and he's laughing at himself.
Yeah, that's funny. Non-ethanol.
That's our last question.
That's
right
great.
Now.
Yeah, non-ethanol fuel. Ethanol fuel sucks. But yeah, sometimes you don't have a choice. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. So I'm sure this probably went, I don't know, I can't see the clock, but a while. So thank you guys so much for chiming in. If you have any other questions or if you want to see any of our answers, make sure that we'll post this video after we're done to Facebook, and at some point, whenever last night's finally gets up on YouTube, this one's going to get in line after the shrimp video. So this one will be on YouTube. You can listen. I've got this recorded on our podcast, Fishing with Kyle, and that can be found on Spotify. So get that on your download. You know, I'm trying to do that pretty regularly, and might just start popping on there randomly when I have something completely random to say and talk about. So might be kind of fun. So, but if you guys have any questions, anything thought-provoking, something, whatever, we can go anywhere. So really appreciate it. Hopefully we're helping you. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.